Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're preparing for Java interview, this playlist is exclusively designed for you. In each video, we will cover one Java interview question with a clear explanation and practical examples. So you not only know the answers, but also understand the concept behind it. Whether you are a beginner or someone revising Java, this playlist will help you learn step by step. So let's dive in and get started. In this video, the question we are going to see is difference between double equal to operator and equals method. First, let's start with double equal to operator. As we all know, this operator is one of our relational operator which is used for comparison purpose. This operator will check whether the given operands are equal or not. And the return type of this operator is always true or false. This operator works with both a primitive type of data and also a reference type of data. So in Java, we totally have 8 primitive data types. This double equal to operator will work with all the 8 primitive data types and compare, and the result is always true or false. So let me see some examples. System.out.println 10 equal to 10. And one more important thing, whenever we are applying this double equal to operator with the primitive types, this operator will check whether the given values are equal or not. So here also I'm giving 10, here also I gave 10. So both are equal, the answer will be true. And another example, system.out.println 10 equal to new line character. What will be the output for this? And whenever we are comparing two operands of different types, the lower type is automatically promoted to higher type. Here the character is lower type. So it will be converted automatically to the higher type, which is integer. So what is the Unicode value of slash n, which is 10? And here also we are having 10. 10 equal to 10. Once again it is true. And system.out.println a equal to 97.0. What will be the output for this? Once again, we are having two different types of data. One operand is character type, another operand is double type. Here, character is again converted to double. So 97.0, and right side also we are having 97.0. Now compare, both are equal. Once again, the answer will be true. Next, system.out.println true equal to true. What will be the output in this case? So whenever we are applying this equal to operator with primitives, it will check whether the given values are equal or not. Here I gave two boolean values. Left side true, right side true. Both are true. So answer will also be true. But we have to keep in mind the one thing. So other relational operators like less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, these operators will operate only on numeric primitive types. It will not operate on boolean primitive types. So if I going to write a statement like this, true, greater than true, my compiler will be ready to give left and right for me because this is not a valid statement, and my compiler will ignore saying compilation error, bad operand type for binary operator, greater than, because these operators are not applicable with boolean values, but this equal to operator and not equal to operator applicable with all the 8 primitive data types including boolean also. And whenever we are using this equality check operator with the primitive types, it will check whether the given operands, the given values are equal or not. Hope. Okay, this is how the equality operator work with primitive types. It seems so simple with primitive, but once we jump into reference type, we have to focus on a lot of things. There are a lot of minute things we have to keep in our mind. So let's jump in and see one by one. The behavior of equality operator with reference types. Here we are going to see a lot of examples. Let's focus on one by one. First example, I'm going to write a program. Just pause the video for a while and guess what will be the output for this. Thread T1 is equal to new thread. Thread T2 is equal to new thread. System.out.println T1 equal to T2. Just guess what will be the output for this. In case if you are wondering what is this SOPLN, I'm just writing it as a shortcut for system.out.println. So whenever we are trying the statement in compiler, we will give system.out.println. While teaching, I use this short because writing those statement will consume a lot of time. But whenever you are using in compiler, you have to write the exact statement saying system.out.println. And if you're writing S4PLN, then compiler will give you left and right. Fine. Okay. What is the output for this? One thing is sure, we are using equality operator. So the result will always be either true or false. But what is the specific answer in this example? Whenever we are using equality operator with reference types, it will check whether the reference variable are pointing to same object or not. It won't check whether the content is same or not. It only check whether these reference variables are pointing to same object or different object. If both are pointing to same object, then we will get true as the output. If both are pointing to different object, then we will get false as the output. So, as a result of the first statement, a object will be created in the heap memory and a T1 will be assigned as the reference variable pointing to the object. And as the result of second statement, again one object will be created in the heap memory and this time we are assigning T2 as the reference variable for it. Whenever we are using new keyword in Java, a separate object will be created. Even though they are of same type, my compiler or my JVM will not bother about it. If we are using new, then I will create a new object in the heap memory. So we are having two object and two reference variable. And we are applying equal to operator with this variable. What this operator will do, it will check whether T1 and T2 are pointing to same object or not. In this case, T1 is pointing to one object, T2 is pointing to another object. So this operator will return false. So whenever we are using equality operator with reference type, we have to keep in mind it will not check the content, but it will check whether the reference variable are pointing to same object or not. If they are pointing to same object, then we will get true as the output. If it is pointing to different object, then we will get false as the output. Okay, I'm going to write another program. Once again, pause the video for a while and try to find out the answer. Example 2. Thread T1 is equal to new thread. Thread T2 is equal to T1. System.out.println T1 equal to T2. What will be the output? We can say it within a fraction of a second. As a result of our statement, a object will be created in the heap memory and the variable T1 is assigned to it. So T1 is pointing to a object and we are assigning the T1 to T2. So a reference variable T2 will be created. It will also point to the same object that T1 is pointing to. Now we are applying the equality operator to T1 and T2. It will check whether these two operands are pointing to same object. In this case, both reference variable are pointing to same object. As a result, my compiler will give, oh my god, my JVM will give true as the output. Hope you are getting it. If you're okay with this two example, I'm moving to third example because there are a lot of minute things while using this equality operator with reference types. So let's focus. Thread T1 is equal to new thread. String S1 is equal to new string of build by error. So now I'm going to apply T1 equal to S1. What will be the output in this case? Just pause the video for a while and try to guess. If you are performing these type of comparison, then my compiler will give left and right. What is the answer behind it? Because whenever we are using equality operator with reference type, there should be some relationship between those types. Either a parent to child relationship, or else a child to parent relationship, or else same type. Either these relationships should be there. If my reference variable not falling into any of these categories, then I'm not allowed to perform equality check on that reference variable. If I try to do, my compiler will give left and right and I will get compilation error, incomparable types, string and thread. In case if you are wondering, let me try in an editor and I will show you the output. So let's create a thread object. Thread T1 is equal to new thread. Oh my god. String S1 is equal to new string. System dot out dot println. Shit. S1 equal to T1. So if I compile this, yeah, my compiler is scolding me beautifully in comparable types, string and thread. So what is the takeaway? Whenever we are using this double equal to operator with reference type, then there should be some relationship between those reference type. Either it should be a parent to child or child to parent or of same type. If it does not fall into any of these categories, then we will going to get compilation error. If you are clear with the third example, let me jump on to fourth one. String s1 is equal to new string of a. String s2 is equal to new string of a. System.out.println s1 equal to s2. What will be the output in this case? Again, it's just a simple question. As a result of first statement, a object will be created in the heap memory with the content a, and we are assigning s1 as a reference variable pointing to that object. And again, a object will be created in the heap memory with the content a. We are assigning s2 as the reference variable pointing to that object. So if I try to compare s1 equal to s2, my operator will check whether these two variables are pointing to the same object. In this case, it is not. So I'm going to get false as the output. If you are wondering with this, let's move to fifth one. String s1 is equal to Java. Again, string s2 is equal to Java. System.out.println s1 equal to s2. What might be the output in this case? The example may look simple, but there is a hidden concept hiding behind it. This is a string literal. This Java is a string literal, and again this Java is a string literal. Whenever we are creating a literal, then those objects will be created in a special memory area which is called as string constant pool. So this Java object will be created in string constant pool, and the reference variable s1 is pointing to that object. And in second statement, again I'm creating a string literal with the content Java. So what is the specialty of this area in the sense? We will not have duplicates in this area. So again I'm creating the same object now. My compiler will check whether any object with the same content already present in that area. If it is already there, then my reference variable will simply point to that object and no new object will be created. So if I apply s1 equal to s2, in this case I'm going to get true as the answer because both the references are pointing to same object. What is the takeaway of this example? Whenever we are creating a string literal, then that object will be created in a special type of memory which is called string constant pool. And what is the specialty of that memory area? There is no chance of existing duplicates. This is our example 5. If you're okay with this, let's move to another example. Example number 6. Integer. What is this? A wrapper class. Integer I1 is equal to 127. Integer I2 is equal to again 127. Now system.out.println I1 equal to I2. Okay. What is the answer in this case? This is not primitive. This is reference because integer is a class, not a primitive type. And I'm applying equality operator with reference type. So 127, 127 answer will be true. Yeah, if you're guessing true, the answer is true only. But the reason we'll see after this example. So seventh example, integer I1 is equal to 128. Integer I2 is equal to 128. System.out.println I1 equal to I2. What is the output in this case? If you are guessing true is the answer, then you're definitely wrong because the answer is false. Once again, there is a hidden concept behind these examples also. So whenever we are using a wrapper classes, we have to learn one thing called integer catching. If you are trying to create an object in the range minus 128 to 127, those objects will already be created and those reference variable will simply point to that. So Say something like minus 128, minus 127, minus 126, dot, 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 126, 127. So these objects will already be created, and whenever I'm creating in my code, the reference variable will simply point to that object. In this case, I1 is point to 127, I2 is also point to same 127, because the object with the content 127 is already created, which is a concept of integer catching. But in this case, whenever we are crossing that range, a new object will be created separately. So here 128 will be created and I1 is assigned to that. And 128 will be created once again and I2 is assigned for that. In this case, when my operator is checking whether these variables are pointing to same object, which is definitely wrong, so the answer is false. So the hidden concept behind this example is integer catching. Whenever you are creating an object in the range of minus 128 to 127, it doesn't matter how many objects you are creating. All reference variable will point to the same object, which is the concept of integer catching. Once if you cross the range, if you are creating 100 object also, a new object will be created and your reference variable will point to the new object. So in that case, if you are applying equality operator, which will fail and you will get false as the output. If you are okay with this, let's move to another two examples. Example number 8. Int a is equal to 10. This is a primitive type. Long b is equal to 10 L. System.out.println a equal to b. So I'm applying equality operator with primitive types. In primitive types, it will check whether these values are equal or not. Here also I'm having 10, here also I'm having 10, but assigned to a long variable. Either way, this is also a 10, this is also a 10. So my operator will return true as the answer. In case you are doubting, let's run it once again. So int a is equal to 10, long b is equal to 10 L. System.out.println a equal to b. Let's compile. Let's run. So the answer is true. But the problem lies in the next example. Example number 9. Integer a is equal to 10. Integer b is equal to, oh, not integer, long. Long b is equal to 10 L. System.out.println a equal to b. What is the output in this case? Let me say, if you are guessing the answer is true, then you are wrong, the answer is not true. Because I already mentioned a point, whenever we are using this equality operator with reference type, then there should be some relationship between the operands, either parent to child relationship or child to parent relationship or same type. But there is no relationship between these two types. Integer, long, both are separate types. If I try to apply this operator with these types, then my compiler will give compilation error. Let's see. Let's write the program in the editor and compile and let's check. Whatever does a primitive type, then we will get true as the answer. But reference type, compilation error. Incomparable types, integer and long. This example we already saw, not the same example, the same like example. So the thread and the string class we compared and the compiler said incomparable type string and thread. The same concept is here also, incomparable type integer and long. So this is all about double equal to operator. Whenever you are applying double equal to operator with the primitive types, it will check whether the given values are equal or not. Whenever you are applying these operators with the reference type, then it will check whether the reference variable are pointing to the same object or different object. If they are pointing to same object, then the answer is true. If they are pointing to different object, then the answer is false. We also covered several examples, each covering different topics. We came across integer catching, we came across the relationship need to have between the operands, and we also came across the string constant pool and the wrapper class examples. So if you're okay with this, let's move to equals method. Next, we are going to see equals method. First of all, equals is a method because I'm writing a pair of parentheses after that, so it will be a method. This method is a predefined method Java, which is present in object class. So equals method is one of a predefined method in Java, which is present inside object class. As it is present inside object class, it is available to all the Java classes because object is the parent class of all Java classes. So the members of object class will be available to its child classes also. This equals is not applicable for primitives because we can't apply methods with the primitives. To treat primitives also like objects, we got wrapper classes. We can apply methods with wrapper class like integer, long, float. Those with those classes we can apply these methods. But with the primitives like int, float, long, we can't use methods. So equals method is only applicable for reference type, but not with primitives. If you're thinking the behavior of equals is same across all reference type, then that is not the case here. So to prove that, let's see two examples side by side. First, I'm going to take a string. String s1 is equal to new string. Here the content is a, and string s2 is equal to new string. Here also the content is a. System.out.println s1 dot equals s2. And example number 2, I'm going to take a string buffer. String buffer sb1 is equal to new string buffer a. Once again, string buffer sb2 is equal to new string buffer a. With these reference also, I'm going to apply the equals method. sb1 dot equals of sb2. Both are exactly the same code, but here the references are string type, here the references are string buffer type. Here also I applied equals method, here also I applied equals method. Here also the content is same, here also the content is same. Pause the video for a while and guess the output. So the output for example 1 is true, and the output for example 2 is true. If it is true, then why I'm going to write two different examples? No, the answer is false. Why? What is the reason? Both are same content, same method, but difference in answer. And one more thing, the equals method is used to check the content, whether the content is same or not. If the content is same, then it will return true. If the content is not same, then it will return false. Okay, I can understand. You are getting doubt here. Also, the content is same. Why it returns false? It should be true now. No, it is false only because I already told equals method is a member of object class. In object class, how this equal method is implemented. So inside the object class, this equals method is implemented to check references, which means inside the object class, the equals method will perform the same job as double equal to operator. If I'm creating a class, I have to override this equal method in order to check the content. Inside the string class, the equals method is overridden to compare the content of the objects but not the reference of the object. So in this case, we are getting true as the answer. But inside the string buffer class, this equals method is not get overridden. So its parent class object whose equals method is getting executed, but object class equals method is implemented in a way to compare references. So here object A will be created, SB1 is pointing to it. Object A again created, SB2 pointing to it. But the equals method will compare the references. It will check whether these references are pointing to same object because the string buffer is not overridden to check the content. So object class equal method comes in and check whether these reference variable are pointing to same object or different object. It is pointing to different object, so the output is false here. But here the equals method is overridden in the string class to compare the content. So here the equals will check the content of S1, the content of S2, both are same. Here also A, here also A. That's why we are getting true here, and that's why we are getting false here. So this is all about equals method. If a class overrides the equals method to make it perform content comparison, it will compare the content. If the class does not override the equal method to check the content comparison, then object class equals method comes in and perform reference comparison, like string buffer. So this is all about difference between double equal to operator and equals method. So in order to summarize, let's make it sweet and short. So double equal to is an operator in Java which is applicable with all the primitive types and also reference types. If you are applying double equal to operator with the primitive types, it will check the content of the operands. If both the content are same, then it will return true. If the contents are not same, then it will return false. Simple now. Whenever we are using double equal to operator with reference type, it will check whether the reference are pointing to same object or not. If it is pointing to same object, then it will return true. If it is pointing to different object, then it will return false. We also came across two new concepts like integer catching and string constant pool. And next, equals method. Equals is a method in Java which is present inside object class. Inside the object class, the equals method is implemented to perform reference comparison, which means the same work what this double equal to operator is doing. If the class is override the equals method to perform content comparison, then with those class object, this equal method will perform content comparison. If the class is not override the equal method to make it check the content, then object class equals method comes in and it will perform a reference comparison. These are the examples using string object and string buffer object. So this is all about difference between double equal to operator and equals method in Java. If you find the content worthy, then make sure to give a like, comment, share, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe.